Hi there, I'm Sam.
And I'm Kylie.
And this is
Crying in the Walk-In. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Back.
Burr, 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 burr.
That was my basement yard impression. Welcome back to the walk-in.
To the walk-in.
How are you feeling?
Good. Apologies to the viewers. I am getting over a cold, so I sound like shit.
I really feel like everyone in Seattle has had a cold in the last month and a half.
Yes, we're all dying
Everyone I
collectively
know.
together. And one of my friends has had this for 3 weeks now, if not more.
Is she feeling any better?
Kind of, maybe. I don't know.
Well, she's alive.
Yeah, she is.
And it's not COVID.
No.
That's cool.
No, thank fuck.
It's just a mystery disease. It's a
Yay!
new one, actually. Cool. Well,
How are you? How's your week?
good. Okay, so I do have another short story to tell you
I'm ready.
about a guest.
Oh God.
Yeah, a couple nights ago, I had a heterosexual couple on a date.
Straight.
Yeah. Beware.
Ah!
No, but
Jump scare.
the gal had gotten in there first and ordered a glass of prosecco, like sparkling rosé, I think, and then he got there and I go over to get his drink order, and he's like, I was like, do you have any questions you need me to answer or anything like that? And he goes, well, I'm stuck between 2 cocktails. I'm like, yeah, go. Like, what are they? I can help you decide between them. And his hang up was, he was like, so I either want this one drink that's stirred, but I'm kind of interested in this other one, but that's a girly drink, right? That's a girl.
Oh.
No, that's a girl drink, right?
Oh.
Because it was kind of it was like a Saturn riff.
Oh my God.
So it has like
fury,
juice and orgeat. It
the
also had
fury
scotch
rising
in it,
in me.
Yeah, I know. But that's a girl drink, right? And
oh
I was
my
like,
God. If you're a girl drinking it, it's a girl drink.
yeah, no, I
if you're a
literally.
boy drinking it, it's a boy drink.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
I was literally just like, I remember what I said, and I wish I would have been. Sometimes I wish I was sassier in the moment, but I was just like, it depends on how you define that, I guess. But it's a really good drink, and let me describe to you what it tastes like, what to expect out of it. So, whatever. He ends up getting the stirred drink, and I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that you're gonna like that one too. Like, whatever. So I get him the drink, and then when it's time for another drink, he goes, I know it's kind of shameful, but I think I'm gonna, for my second drink, get the other drink.
Oh my God.
Like, literally said, like, it's kind of embarrassing or shameful for me to order this. And
Because
I was
being
like,
girly is the worst possible thing.
I literally in my head said, it depends on how fragile you are. But out loud, I laughed. I actually think I giggled at him. I was like, okay. And then
oh my God.
I went and got him the drink. But I was like, yo, my dude, like,
Oh my
what
God.
year is
Grow
this?
up.
Also, like, just have some fun. Like,
Seriously.
if you see a flavor you like, whether or not it's shaken or has garnishes or this or that, I was like, you a fragile male, yeah?
It's not girly to like things.
No, not at all.
You can like things.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna be okay.
Also, once again, I was like, yeah, he might not know that I'm more masculine identifying and non-binary, but I'm a female-bodied person. So you're looking at me and going, this is too girly, right? And then I was like, I was over in the corner talking to a coworker, and I was like, the audacity, right? And I was like, that girl needs to run. Like,
yeah,
this is a fragile fucking dude. But then my coworker pointed out that he was like, I think she really is kind of into that.
Oh,
and I was
no.
like, no. All right.
God. You're a better person than I am, though, because every single time someone has said something like that to me, I always make fun of them.
Well, I think you should. I think we should shame people a little bit.
I go...
Like, I'm disappointed in myself for not shaming him more.
Next time. But, like, one time somebody said that to me when I first started bartending, and I will admit I was a little spicier than I should have been.
Sure.
But I was like, I'm so sorry. Are you looking at your female bartender and saying a drink is too girly. Do you want to step behind the bar and make it yourself and make it a manly drink?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe I just said that. But
or be like,
it stands.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Also, I could be like if I daydreamed about this long enough, I could probably come up with the perfect response, but I should have just been like, oh,
it's never in the moment.
Is there a way I can make it more manly for you? Do you want it on a big cube or something? Also, the funny thing too was that the two cocktails that he was deciding between were created by the same bartender, and it was one of my male coworkers.
Oh, help!
And they're both cocktails that he is very proud of, and I'm just like, yeah, nothing about this drink makes it a girl drink. Like, oh, you're scared to drink something with crushed ice and orgeat? Like, grow up.
Drink things that you like.
Grow up.
There's like no reason to. You know what? I could go on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop because I just know it's gonna get worse.
We'll do a whole episode on that one day, and we can go off.
I don't need to start screaming.
That was just a small little tidbit that happened in my week.
That is so fucking annoying.
Yeah, it was so interesting. I was just like, people still think this way. That's mind blowing.
I know. I kind of like forget that I'm in my own little like bartend bubble world, and we're all just like. None of us think like that anymore, really. So it's just so silly when people still. Oh my god. Okay. No, I'm doing it again. See, I need to stop.
Yeah, let's get into today's episode.
What are we talking about, Sam? What can I get mad about now today?
Yeah. What can we actually tangent on today? We are talking about IDing.
Hell yeah.
Hey, can I see your ID? Can I make sure you have your ID on you? I have one friend who calls it a drinking license.
Your drinking license?
Can I see your drinking license?
Oh my god, that's funny.
Which I think is kind of diffusing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cute.
I think the way that I found that people respond the best to is, can I make sure your ID isn't expired? Because I think you're not supposed to serve someone with an ID that's not valid anymore.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But like, I found that with like younger people, I'll still be like, "Can I see your ID?" Because I'm like, "You clearly are a fetus, and I need to
fetus.
I need to make sure you can drink in this bar."
Yeah.
But with like older people, where I'm like, "You could be in your 30s. You could also be in your 20s," and I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, "Yeah, can I just make sure your ID's not expired?"
Yeah.
Because then they don't get all weird about it being an age thing or something. Because somehow everyone always finds a way to make it like
somehow
an insult.
Offended,
yeah,
right?
Like, what the fuck?
So
I'm just doing my job.
Yeah. Also, to go over it, just so you know why we're IDing everyone who walks in the door. I mean, I have like some exceptions. Like, I'm like, clearly you're old enough. Like there are some exceptions. I think that like the liquor board doesn't care about. Like technically, even if you're 90, you're supposed to have your ID on you to drink.
I've heard it's not true though, but I've also heard it is true from so many different sources.
That's what I'm saying.
So
but still, yeah. If I see somebody who is clearly like elderly, I guess.
Yeah, I don't care. You've earned the right to not show me that anymore.
You would think, but
That's
boy,
true.
do I have a story for you.
Oh God.
Last week, one of my coworkers had somebody get mad at him for not IDing him, and literally was like he was in with his like clearly adult children, and he was like an elderly man, and so only ID'd the younger two, and the older guy was just like, oh, you're not gonna ID me, and my coworker was trying to like keep it chill and was just like, hey, I mean, I think you've earned the right to not have to pull out your ID every time. And he was like, oh, so you're just like adding insult to injury.
Good Lord.
And like my coworker finally was like, there was like a 3 times back and forth where he just like wouldn't drop the dad jokes. Maybe.
Oh my God.
Maybe he was joking. Maybe he was serious. But it was like somewhere in between, and it was really uncomfortable. So my coworker finally just said, "You're good, dude. You can sit down." Like,
oh my goodness.
And I was just like, and I think he was a little more polite about it, but I was just like, dude, you are entitled to one dad joke, all right?
Yeah, you get one.
Yeah, don't keep pressing it, because
Please.
now we are in this awkward position where we're like, did we actually offend you? And like, how do we dig ourselves out of this hole?
Yeah.
But you also have gray ass hair, and
you're clearly old.
and you're gonna expire before your ID does. Burn.
boom. That's so funny though, because like again, when I was a young bartender and I'm saying things I shouldn't say.
Yeah.
Somebody did that. They were like, "Oh, you're not gonna ID me. You're gonna ID my kids, but not me." I went, "Okay, cool. Can I see your ID?" And she goes, "Oh, I don't have it." And I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You can't drink in this bar if you don't have your ID with you."
Yeah.
And then I kicked her out.
Yeah.
And she was like, "What is the meaning of this? Blah blah blah."
Yeah,
and I was like, "You asked for it.
You asked for it. You said you have to ID me, and so I said, bet.
Yeah, and I said, okay, I'll call your bluff.
Yeah.
And I'll ID you. And then you look like a fucking idiot now.
Yeah.
And now you can't drink here.
Now you gotta go.
Just take it.
I hope she learned her lesson.
I hope so too.
But anyway, we're IDing people not because it's our favorite thing to do. Okay?
I fucking hate doing it.
It's like my least favorite part of the job. We're IDing people because if we do not, we can get fined personally and lose our liquor license. Like, our literal job is on the line if we don't ID people. And on top of that, bartenders can get fined for not IDing people, and then the bar themselves can get fucking fined.
Yeah, and you can lose your job.
It's like $5,000. It's like a $5,000 fine, if I'm not mistaken.
I always tell people too, I'm like, I'm sorry, but like my job is worth more to me than if you can drink here or not.
Yeah.
Like, I need to pay my bills.
Oh, I literally, okay, so when I was a child working at AMC Theaters in downtown Seattle, back in the day, one of my coworkers got fired on the spot because the liquor board did a sting at our, like, upstairs bar, and he had said something along the line, he, like, literally told the liquor board dude,
oh god,
oh no, you're good, like, just because he looked old enough.
Oh boy.
And because he did that, he got fired immediately. Like, left the shift the moment the interaction was over, and could never come. Like, literally got fired.
Wow.
So that was a really telling experience for me. So every time I'm like hearing word that the liquor board is doing stings in downtown, I'm like, okay, shit. Like, we need to button up really quick. Like, if you're 90, I still need to see your ID because I'm not getting fined.
Well, yeah, because I just like. I don't like doing it, but it's also, like, I like my job.
Yeah.
I want to keep it, and, like, I don't really care if you're feeling hurt. Sorry.
No,
like,
it's just part of the job.
Yeah, and it's also, like, I'm not doing this for my own joy and fulfillment. It's just one of the requirements. Like, I don't give a fuck how old you are. Yeah. I just need to make sure you are over 21.
I mean, okay, so the messy side of me, sometimes I'm like...
unleash it.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, yo, dude... What's your age difference? Like, if a couple is together, I'm like, yo,
I love doing that.
So sometimes it is for my own
Sometimes it's nice.
I'm like, okay, bro, you guys have like a 40-year age gap.
Sometimes, like, is this daddy and daughter? Or
yeah,
is this something more sinister?
Is this daddy? Yeah. No, yeah, sometimes it is to just get, like, any inside scoop on, like, my guests a little bit. Oh, you're an Aries? Oh. There was a QFC checker back when we lived on Capitol Hill who would call out people's signs all the time.
Incredible.
Which I was honestly impressed with.
Oh, at the upstairs bar. Yes.
Yeah. It was always like, oh, you're a Leo. Oh, you're Aquarius. Like, I was literally like, how do you know all of those? Like, you are some crystal girly shit.
Also, to like comment on it every time is just so funny too, because most people are probably like, yeah, sure, I don't know what that means. Like,
yeah. Also, she did it to me quite a few times. I was like, you don't. Okay.
You're like, still an Aries.
Yeah, it still hasn't changed.
Yep. You saw me yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I did buy a lot of alcohol in my QFC.
Yes. Had to get through the pandemic somehow.
Yeah. Okay, so what are some of the silliest reactions that people give you when you ask for their ID?
I have one that infuriates me the most.
What is it?
Oh my god, thank you so much. That is so nice of you. Love that, because almost 100% of the time they're either my age or they are actually, as I said earlier, a certified fucking fetus.
Yeah, younger than me.
Yep.
Yo, it's like the 22-year-olds. It's like 22 to 24. They're all like, oh my god, that's
Thank you.
flattering. And or like the like 40 to 50-year-olds who are like, oh my god, I haven't whipped this out in a while. Thanks for asking. Quite literally, it has nothing to do with what you look like, how old we think you are. We're not trying to flatter you. We just are doing our fucking job. But yeah, no, it is my favorite when I'm like, yo, dude, you're a year younger than me, and I would ID me.
Yeah.
Not to flatter myself, but I would ID me.
Oh, I'd ID me too.
Yeah.
I look like a child.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I look like a big bald baby now, too, with no hair, so.
No, you do not.
But yeah, one time I walked up to this group of people. I mean, one time. This has happened to me multiple times. But I'd be like, hey, can I see everyone's ID, like, before we start, like, doing orders and stuff? And this kid goes, oh my god, I'm so flattered, thank you so much. I looked at his ID, he had been 21 for like a month. And that I literally, so weird. My jaw dropped. I said, sir, what? Also, you can't say that yet.
Also, like, if you're saying, also if you're, you haven't earned that right.
Yeah.
But also if you're saying it as a joke as well, like, we've heard it 1,000 times and it's not funny anymore. It doesn't get funnier. My
first bar manager kicked somebody out of the bar for that one time. Like, literally.
They're like, I'm fed up, I'm done with this.
No, he goes, well, because this kid was getting ID'd, and his friend goes, oh yeah, that's a fake-ass ID, ha ha ha, like, it's so fake, like, he made it this morning, like, we just finished laminating it, something like that. No. And my bar manager went, oh, you know what, that's not a funny joke, because my job rides on that. Yeah. So if you're serious, you actually can't be in this bar anymore. Yeah. And the guy was like, are you fucking serious? It was just a joke. He was like, it's not a joke to me. Yeah. My job's not a joke. Yeah, I like my job. Uh-huh. And then he kicked the kid out of the bar area, which is funny because then he had to go sit in the restaurant. Over there. And he's just like staring daggers at us the whole time, and we were like, this is your fault. Like,
that's actually a response.
I don't have to serve you.
Yeah. That's actually a response I hadn't even thought about, is people, I have had a handful of people in my time serving be like, oh, it's a fake. And I'm literally like, do you know how uncomfortable that makes me? Like, funny joke, bro. Like,
how do I know you're not serious?
Yeah, and I mean, like, I know how to check an ID, so, like, I can ID, like, kind of spot a fake, but it makes me really uncomfortable when you make those jokes, because it's not that funny.
No, and I've told people that before. I've been like, hey, just so you know, like, that's not funny. Like, I've had a bar manager kick someone out for that before. You should be careful with who you say that to, because we don't know if you're serious or not. And they're like, wow, what a killjoy, it's just like a joke, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't go into your fucking office, Kevin, and rearrange your pencils and then, like, you know, call it a joke. So, you know what?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Also, you know what's also weird is, like, when people assume my age. Like, so I've had one response that I get often is, oh, I'm old enough to be your dad, or old enough to be your grandpa, or whatever.
2 years older than you.
Yeah, and I'm like, first of all, see, like, it's hard to tell people's ages, because I think people look at me and think that I'm, like, 21 to 24. Somebody the other day told me I looked 25, and I was like,
see, this is weird. Like,
and I'm like, see, this is why we have to check IDs, because we have no fucking clue. The other day I checked somebody's ID, and I was assuming that they were hella older than me, and they were younger than me. Sorry, my bad.
You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
See, and that's why that puts the fear of God in me sometimes. Yeah. I'm like, damn, I do need to ID all these motherfuckers. You could be way younger than me.
Also, sometimes when people say I'm old enough to be your dad, I'm like,
that.
Yeah, I don't know what vibe you're trying to give me right now, but it is just giving me the ick, my dude.
I don't like this.
Like, no, you're not.
No, please.
Yeah. Oh wait, one response that I've gotten twice now, and I'm not gonna make any assumptions based on ethnic background or nothing.
Background.
But it was both times with British groups of people.
Oh, dude, yeah.
But it was, people from out of town, and both times it was British IDs. But in Washington State, we're only allowed to accept Washington State issued license, or the territories of the United States, like Guam.
Yes, and for some reason Canada.
Yeah, and then Canada. But anything
but not Mexico, which is so fucking
fucked up.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I wish I could accept IDs from any government issued, but it has to be government issued from the United States or Canada, or it has to be a passport.
Yes.
And so all of these folks, so 2 different groups over the last month came in with British IDs, and I was like, I can't accept this. Do you have your passports on you? And both times, they both gave me the same response, which is so curious, because both times, a tall, white British dude looked me in the face and said, do you know how much business is about to walk out the door?
Yep.
Twice. And I'm like, do you guys practice this? Like,
it's in the handbook. They're like, when you're born, you get like this is how to be British.
Yeah. No, but they said that to me, and first of all, it comes across so condescending and rude.
That is so ridiculous.
Yeah, it comes across so condescending and rude, and also like, do you know like to the second time it happened, I was actually prepared for my response because it had just happened like a couple weeks ago, and I literally was like, yeah, I mean, honestly, I would really love to serve you right now. Like, we have space to serve you. It's painful for me to have to turn you away, but like, this is the law. Also, the other thing that people don't realize is, okay, cool. Like, yeah, you were about to spend $200. You were a group of 5. We could have got $200 to $300 out of you. I get that. But also, it's not worth it if the fine is $5,000 in my job. Like,
I also love when people go, well, like, why can't you? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, blah. I'm like, never mind. You know what? I'm just going to get mad again. I can't do this. Or they always go, oh, wait, you need me to have my passport? Do you know how bad of an idea it is for me to carry my passport around everywhere? I'm like, are you not an adult?
Yeah.
Can you not
take care of your things?
Like,
and I mean, sometimes I do feel bad because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be stuck in another country and lose my passport.
Sure, but
But that's just
every time I go out when I've been in another country, I bring my passport with me.
Yeah.
And, like, even when I go out places, because I don't want to leave it behind, I'd rather know where it is. And also, I'm a fucking adult, and I know how to look after my stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
Wear a bag. Put it in your bag, dummy.
Also, it's just, like, it's really easy. So, I don't travel. Like, when I do travel, I don't travel a ton, but when I do travel, I always Google the standards.
Yes.
At the place that I'm going to.
Yes.
Like, both tipping standards.
Yes.
Because the last place I traveled to was Iceland, and in Iceland, the gratuity is pretty much included in the price that you're buying for things. It's not common. I also learned that, like, from a friend that, like, when he traveled to Spain, it's almost, like, rude to overtip. It's almost, like, condescending, like, oh, you need this money.
Yeah.
You'll, like, service industry.
I have made that mistake.
Yeah.
Trying to be nice.
So it's like,
it doesn't.
I don't know I've never traveled to Spain, but I would assume, or like what I think is common is like 2 to 5%, and like nothing over that.
Yeah, because they get paid a minimum, like not a minimum. They get paid a living wage.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, so yeah, I always Google tipping standards, and then like it's not hard to Google what the laws on IDing people.
Nope.
Because, there are other countries where drinking age is lower, all of this shit, and I'm like, but here in Washington, this is just, like, how it is. It's not my rules, I didn't make them.
Nope. Oh, and that's what the thing that British people always do, too. They're like, well, at home, I'm allowed to drink, like, starting at 18. I'm like, well, you're not, go home, then. I don't fucking know. Like, what are you doing then? Go home.
Yeah, I can't help you there. Like, I wish the drinking age was, well, I mean, I don't actually have a strong opinion on it, but when I was 18, I surely was like, damn, I wish the drinking age was 18.
This is a conversation for a different time, but I think the age should be lowered, but with different restrictions.
Yeah.
But we can do that again later.
No, but on that topic, did you ever use a fake?
No, I was too much of a chicken. I never had a fake ID.
I was too broke.
That too.
Because like everyone in college was always like, I got a fake ID, but it cost me $100.
I know. I was like, I don't have $100.
Yeah, I know.
You getting $100?
Yeah. Did you?
I had to buy
ramen for that. Yeah.
I made spaghetti in my microwave the other day.
Yeah.
You want an ID?
Yo,
That's
one
crazy.
time, this is so off topic, but one time, I don't think I was strapped for cash that hard, but I had cereal, Fruity Pebbles, and I had Gatorade. But I didn't have milk, so I did one time use yellow Gatorade.
Honestly, if it was any cereal, that was the correct
No,
one.
yeah, I think
if it had been like Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. I think I consciously made that decision. I was like, I don't want this cereal. I don't want to make the cereal completely dry. And like the yellow Fruity Pebbles kind of taste like yellow Gatorade. Like it's fine.
Kind of the same thing.
But anyway, yeah. So I was too broke to afford a fake ID, but. Yeah. Being a child, I did get away with passing IDs. Like me and my roommate. Me and my roommate would go out, and she was over 21, so she would get the stamp. She would get ID'd, get the stamp, go in, come back out for a smoke break is, I'm assuming the bouncer thought she was just like stepping out for a second.
Did you do the lick the stamp move?
No, I've never done the lick the stamp. She would just hand her ID off to me.
Oh, that's way more hygienic.
Yeah. More hygienic. It was way more hygienic, yeah. I have heard about the stamp
Yeah,
thing.
you just like, it doesn't work very well. But
no,
like,
you get 2 very faded stamps, and I'm sure like
and they're
if
like,
any good doorman was doing his job, would probably be like, no, let me check your ID.
Yeah.
But no, she would hand off her ID to me, and then I would get in. And the funny thing too is like if you described me vaguely and you described her vaguely. So first of all, she was an Asian American woman, and I'm Mexican American with darker skin than her. But if you like vaguely described us, like brown eyes, brown hair,
sure,
like maybe we looked alike. But the bouncers that we got away with that with definitely weren't looking at the photo.
Yeah,
they were
like,
just,
they all look the same. It's fine.
Yeah, and like at some places,
Jesus.
it's like pretty easy to get away with that type of shit. But yeah, so I never bought a fake, but I did get away with that type of bullshit.
I don't know if I ever even did that. Maybe I did. I think I was kind of too much of a chicken. I also was not a cool kid, so I didn't know where to get an ID. I was like, who do I ask?
Yeah.
I can't Google it.
Yeah. The feds are on to me.
the little FBI agent in my phone is like, oh.
Also, if it were me, the little FBI agent would be laughing at me because they'd be like, you're gonna Google this and then you're never gonna follow through because you're a little bitch. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I also was like so afraid of getting in trouble that I was like, I cannot do this.
I am so scared of being in trouble.
Yeah.
So
that's why I ID people so much.
No, I am so scared of being in trouble for any reason. It's like insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I did that thing with my roommate like maybe twice and got away with it, but I think I carried around an immense amount of guilt.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Actually, I think the guilt has gotten worse now that I work in the industry, and I'm like, I can't believe I pulled that shit on somebody. That's so mean. Like, I could have fucking cost somebody their job. Like,
oh my god, I remember one time at the Chieftain, one of my friends had a fake ID, and she used it for like 3 years there, and made friends with the bartenders and all that, and like we were all on first name basis.
Oh my god. Yeah, I know where this is going. Keep going.
You remember this. She had her 21st birthday there.
Yep.
And the bartender was like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's so mean.
He was like, what are you doing? Don't.
Just go have your
just go somewhere else. What are you doing?
You're like, you're like, chee ha ha, I've been fucking with you for a couple years. Like, that's kind of mean. That's kind of mean.
Especially, I mean, also too, when you're like a kid and you just like don't think about that kind of thing.
No, yeah.
Because she was probably just like, oh, haha, yay, like I can finally come in here, and he's like, dude, that had repercussions. Like, I could have lost my job.
Yeah. Have you ever caught a fake ID?
I think so. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never like dealt with it. I've always had like a manager deal with it or something.
Yeah, you're like, I think this ID is fake. You deal with it.
Yeah.
I've never caught a fake ID, but I bend every ID that I check. I bend because I feel like that's the easiest way to find.
Some IDs are made really terribly though. Like there's, I forget what state it is, but there's one that's like it is flimsy as hell, and I'm like, you are all
like
setting everyone.
Something?
Yeah, fucking Maine.
Yeah.
Y'all are setting your people up for failure.
Yeah. No, I actually that's funny because I feel like one of our college friends was accused of having a fake ID, even though it was I think he was from Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very real ID, but the bouncer took it.
That happened to me one time.
And he had to like literally call, he chose violence. And so he literally called SPD to come prove that it was a real ID. Because SPD can come and like verify that it's a real ID.
Oh, wild.
But I would never take it that far, because then you just have a target on your back. Like, the bouncer hates you now. Like,
sure, and it's like someone's gonna spit in your drink.
Yeah.
Go somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it was Vermont.
That's
where
wild.
he lived, and he almost, he got accused of having a fake ID. So.
I did once too, because I had my my California ID and it was vertical still, and I had like just turned 21. Yeah. And this bouncer was like, "This is clearly fake," and I was like, "It literally is real." This is,
I don't know what to tell you.
I promise you. And, you know, like, being like, oh, I promise you. Everyone says that. But he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I was like, no, but, like, actually, I am serious. Put a black light on it. This is my fucking idea.
Yeah.
Like, this is a government-issued document.
It was interesting.
Please.
The other day, I was sitting at a bar downtown, and I was like, the bartender ID'd somebody who was sitting near me. And immediately they were like, we don't accept vertical IDs.
Lots of places don't. Yeah. QFCs don't.
Well, I know that I've always known that the stadiums don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. Or like, I think it was like if you had a vertical ID, you had to have like 3 different people check it.
Damn.
Like, because I did that once. Like, I went to where the Mariners play.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called these days. To me, it's
T-Mobile.
Like T-Mobile Park. Okay.
Yeah.
I
was like, Leaf's gonna get mad if I don't know.
yeah. Wasn't it like, I think it's in my head still like Safeco Field.
Yeah.
And where they play the football is Quest Field. Okay. I don't know.
No, it's not.
no, it still is in my head.
I was like, it's really not though anymore.
yeah. But anyway, I think I bought a beer at the
old.
baseball field. I know, and like I still had a vertical ID, and yeah, at the time they were willing to accept it, but they had to like call like 3 people over to make sure that it wasn't fake or something. And I was literally just like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, just, you can deny me the beer if you want.
Yeah,
like,
they are. I think they're easier to fake or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Know.
But yeah, no, it was wild. I was sitting at the bar, and she was immediately like, we don't accept vertical IDs. And I was like, oh, that's curious. Like, haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, I can see why people do that, though, because every time I get a vertical ID, I'm like, oh my god, is this real? Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, no, idea. It's so funny, the stress that goes through my body. It is like a ping of, like, anxiety. Like, okay, this might be the moment. I literally have had this thought. This might be the moment that I lose my job. No. Like, sometimes I'll accept an ID and I go, like,
you're like, you cross yourself.
I'm like, wait, did I remember to look at because like I'll look at something and forget immediately what the birthday was.
I've asked for it back before.
No, I have to.
Can I see that again?
Yeah, like I panic and I'm like, wait, did I even look at the expiration date? Or like, wait, I forgot to look at the picture. I think I'm gonna lose my job right now.
I've asked people for it back and they're like, are you serious? And I'm like, I forgot to look at your birthday or something. And they're like, are you stupid? And I'm like, yeah.
A little
bit.
And now I'm stressed too, so let's ease one of those 2 things.
Yes. Like, do you see how sweaty I am? Just give it back to me, please.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't. I had one other interaction this week with this regular. He comes in all the time with a different date all the time.
Boy.
We're like a cute little date night spot, so I feel like it's like people's first date spot.
Sure.
But he comes in all the time with a different date, and because I recognize him, I don't ID him anymore. Like, I'm like, yeah, we've done this song and dance enough times. You're welcome to take the table in the back, and when your date gets here, I will be IDing her, because they always look like babies.
Babies.
So, sure enough, the date shows up, and I ID her, and this motherfucker put his foot in his mouth, because he goes, so, also the vibe that we get from him is, like, he doesn't really want us acknowledging that he's a regular, ever.
Oh my god.
Like, he wants to be, like...
don't go to the scene.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of an interesting thing.
Or ask for discretion.
Yeah.
If you must. I don't know.
Yeah, anyway, his vibe is like, let's keep it discreet that I bring all of these women here. And so I'm like, okay, whatever.
This isn't a mob bar, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So but anyway, so I ID her, because she looks my age, turns out she was my age. And he put his foot in his mouth by being like, oh, you didn't ask for my ID? And I was like, bro, you are so stupid, because now I either have to say, yeah, because you look old as fuck, bro, or I have to out you and be like, yeah, because this is your first date bar and you come here all the fucking time with different women. Like, which path do you want me to choose?
What do you want to do?
Yeah. So I like...
Choose wisely, sir.
Yeah, so I literally was just like, well, yeah, I recognize you. You come in every once in a while.
Yes.
And then I felt so bad, though, because I was like...
He did that to himself.
No, he did. But for a moment, I was like, oh, shit, because she even goes, oh, I thought you'd never been here.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Sir,
like, you
fucked up.
They had, like, playful banter about the fact that he had been a regular there. But I was like, yeah, you should have shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to do it.
Also, it was easy enough to shut the fuck up because you got here first and had been seated before she even showed up, so she didn't know whether or not I ID'd
Yeah, you could have just pretended you got ID'd earlier.
You could have just stopped talking.
I love that, too.
Like, you could have just stopped talking, dude.
You fucking idiot. I can't. That's funny.
Yeah, I have no clue
Wow.
what he was thinking. But
he said I'm young, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh,
no.
Sorry, you look 22. I wasn't gonna ID you. But no, and then, also I've had somebody, I think it might have been one of the groups who were like out of towner. Yeah, they were definitely out of towners. They had IDs I couldn't accept from the UK or something, and only one of the people in the party had a passport. It was 3 people, and they go, and I know they were joking, but I was just annoyed because they were like, can't we use 1 passport for 3 people?
Are you fucking kidding me?
And I was like, where do you think you're at, Chuck E. Cheese, bro?
Also, like, do you say that to the TSA agent?
No,
when you're going through customs?
Yeah, did TSA let you use 1 passport for 3 people?
What? Like, they're like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead. Like, we'll just stamp it 3 different times.
Yeah.
What?
We'll just stamp it 3 different times.
Are you fucking serious?
No, I literally, it's just so mind-boggling to me because this is just part of... Yeah.
Can't we use 1 passport? No.
Also, I'm really curious too because like I'm curious. I've never been a door guy, and I don't envy door guys.
No, that's like a hard job.
Door people. I would not want to do that. We should invite a door person on to talk about their shenanigans. But I will say sometimes the vibe at something like a club or like a dive bar that has a bouncer is it's just kind of like. Because there's a door guy, like a whole person dedicated to checking IDs, like, I don't feel like... I kind of wonder if people don't give the same flack to them.
Mm-mm.
Because it's like, this is your whole job. Like, it's just sit here and check IDs. So I feel like there's
like, you professionally do it. It's like, so do we.
Yeah. So I'm curious why there's that, like, mental disconnect when it's just like, oh, yeah, you're already seated at a table or you're at... I mean, we check IDs at the door.
Oh, yeah.
Too. Word. So it's like, why is this different? Like, just let us do this part, and then let's have some fucking fun. Let's get
it's
a
also
cocktail.
Like, I don't want to be policing you all over the place. It's not fun for me.
It.
I just like, we've beaten this subject into a pulp, but I want to keep my job.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also, I gave up on my education because I didn't want to be a cop. I'm not trying to sit here. I'm just kidding. That was an inside joke.
I think the other thing that annoys me is when, like, kind of on a different subject of IDs, is when people have their IDs punched and they don't bring the extra stuff. Wow, does that piss me off? Because they're like, well, it's fine. It says the thing. I'm like, no, it's not. It's punched. That means it doesn't exist anymore. It's not a real ID.
Yeah, and that is like.
Do you want me to lose the paper? Sure. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, just be responsible. Like, we're being responsible. You be responsible.
You're an adult. You have to have your ID at places.
Yeah, when there is a punched ID, that is a surefire way to get yourself in trouble. To accept a punched ID.
Yeah. No. Unless the paper's there. And honestly, if the paper's crumpled and looks like shit, I might not even take it then.
Yeah. Also, it's just so funny because I feel like I heard a story recently where somebody was IDing somebody who had a punch or an expired ID, and they were like, oh, do you need to see the paper? And they were like, yeah, I need to see it. And they're like, well, it's in my car. And I'm like,
oh, who was telling us that story?
I feel like it was somebody at your work.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and I was literally like, yo, if there was any question whether you needed this extra piece of paper or not, you should have brought it.
Yeah. Also, if you're asking, you know the answer.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, but my car's parked far away. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Use your leggies. You got it.
Do you want to give me a job and $5,000 if the liquor board walks in right now?
Fuck?
Like,
you knew that you needed it.
Yeah.
Bring it with you.
People are so wild.
Oh, that was at book club.
Yeah. Book club gets wild, bro. Yeah.
We did poppers one time.
Don't.
But for legal purposes, no, we didn't.
Yeah, we're not a regular book club. We're a cool book club.
Yeah, we have a book club.
Yeah.
Anyways, that always drives me nuts. Or like when people bring their punched ID, but they do bring their passport. I always like make sure to like praise them way too much. It's like, oh my god, I'm so proud of you. Thanks for doing that. They're like, why is this so exciting? I'm like, do you even know how many people won't do this? Like, I love you.
Yeah.
For making my life easier.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, like, I don't want to have to move people out of the bar, too. Because they're like, oh, yeah, like, well, I am over 21. Like, isn't it okay if I just, like, sit here and I don't have a drink? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Go sit somewhere else.
I think that's the other thing, too, is, like, people don't realize that it's not just about serving you drinks. There are, like, dedicated areas.
Yeah, you can't
or an entire bar itself.
Yeah.
Like, our bar is 21 plus. Like, literally no one under 21 is allowed in. And so, yeah, we check every ID. And yeah, you like have to have it on you just to even be in the space. And I don't think everyone
well, I'm not gonna get a
recognizes
drink.
that.
I'm like, I don't give a fuck if you're not gonna get a drink. You can't be in here.
Yeah, you go sit in the family friendly part of the restaurant.
Yeah. Or it's like when people try and bring their babies into like bar areas, and they're like, it's fine, it's just a baby. I'm like, it's a whole person. Where's your baby's ID? Is your baby 21?
Yeah.
Give me your baby's ID. Like, what the fuck?
And
then they get mad at me for like there's people who like, you know, since we're a restaurant and we're family friendly, people will walk through like the bar and like say hi to friends who are in the bar with their baby, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I don't want to be this person, but I literally can't have you have your baby in here.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's fine, it's just for a few minutes. I'm like, that few minutes could really make or break this whole thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If the liquor board decided to walk in right now, they'd be like, the fuck is a baby doing in the bar? And I'd be like, I don't fucking know. Like,
also, for some reason, the liquor board is like the most intense entity that we ever work with. Like, yeah. Like, I mean, even like cops or firefighters will come through for like certain inspections. Yeah. And this or that, and like at one restaurant I used to work in, we would store our propane inside, which is a no-no.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, sometimes people would just be like, okay, like, I don't see that there. Like,
yeah.
Oh, what's under that tarp? Like, I'm not going to lift it because I don't want to have to, like, do the paperwork today. Yeah. But for some reason, I feel like the liquor board is, like, the most intense sting operation. Oh, yeah. And I'm just like, why, dude? Like,
they're never chill either.
Yeah.
Like, fucking,
Also, speaking of the rules that we have to follow, one of my favorite things when you're taking, I make this joke all the time, but when you're taking your liquor license permit test or whatever,
the mass permit,
yeah, the classes or like the videos that you have to fucking sit through are so funny to me because they call people apparently intoxicated people. Like, that's what it's called throughout the whole training session, is like, if you see an apparently intoxicated person, what are you supposed to do?
Can you imagine? We're like, look, an apparently intoxicated person. Quick!
They look apparently intoxicated. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so funny. And also, it's like, what are you supposed to do? Give them another drink and see what happens? Let them finish the drink in front of them and then kick them out? Or pull their drink immediately and ask them to leave. Like, I'm just like, oh my god. Give them water and call them a taxi. Because they're apparently intoxicated.
I hate those tests so much.
Yeah, I
so
hate them
cringy.
too. But...
They give me the ick.
Oh my god, yeah.
They're so weird.
The ick. But yeah, no, that phrase just cracks me up and I giggle about it in my head way too often.
Quick, look over there!
Yeah. But anyway, on that note, I feel like we've beaten this topic a little bit into the ground, and now everyone knows.
Yeah. Any other events that we have going on?
No.
Any other cool things? Oh, I have to make an amendment to a previous episode.
Why?
Previously, I did say in the hosting episode that Mary was the only host I would ever trust to host in a restaurant.
Oh.
I must repeal that statement and say, while Mary is incredible, Nat Shay, you also are an incredible host, and I love you so much.
Oh,
and you're a fucking killer at your job, god damn it.
Shout out to Nat.
Shouts out.
Shouts out. Yep. Yeah, that's so funny. Did you get some flack?
I did. And I felt so bad, and I got so sweaty because I felt so bad.
Yeah, you're like, no. That's so funny because honestly, like, sometimes when we're recording, I'm like, okay, this is set in stone.
Yep.
And like you can never change your mind. Like, once you say it on the podcast,
that's it.
It is law according to the rules, and it stresses me out so bad. So
I stress myself out.
Yeah.
Anyways, love you.
Yeah. So shout out to Nat.
Incredible host.
I I get great service every time I walk in.
Oh, yes.
And they're hosting.
Yes,
so
yes.
We're great. Anyway. All right, y'all. We can insert a little story about crying in the walk-in. About it. And that's that.
Help us out.
Yeah. Anyway, everyone, take care of yourself.
Drink water.
Yeah, I was like, who's gonna say it?
Yeah, one of us is gonna say it.
Drink some water, y'all.
Also, let us know if you're interested, but I've been toying with the idea of making tote bags.
Oh, yeah.
So if you would buy one, just let us know, because then I could know how many to order.
Yeah.
And wowie zowie did I
want
have some
like
fun,
10 of them.
cute ones.
Yeah.
So, wee.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to Crying in the Walk-In with Sam and Kai. Find us on Instagram at cryinginthewalkin_pod and on Spotify at Crying in the Walk-In. You can find us in real life too, but only if you know us, you little freaks.